Black History Showdown, 1989. Black History Showdown is held in February each year to celebrate Black History Month. As a result, we educate and inspire. We provide appropriate role models. Participants gain a healthy and proud self-image. A healthy and proud self-image is so extremely important from early childhood throughout our lives. And in addition to all of this, we have fun, fun, fun. Teams come from churches, schools, colleges, or any group of individuals that want to have a team. Everybody is welcome. And we will tell you a little later in the show how you can be on this television show. We have 3 categories: junior high, age 13 and below; senior high; college and adult level, or age 19 and above. Each participant has been furnished a manual that provided all the information that will be used in these competitions. What team has made the wisest use of its mental abilities? What preparation strategies are most successful? Who is the undefeated coach? Linda Darthur is the undefeated coach. Linda coaches the Olivet Crusaders, who hold state and national championships and are our continuing champions from last year. Team against team, using the power of the mind, which results in thousands of dollars in college education funds. Black History Showdown is sponsored by Martin Luther King Day Incorporated, an Iowa-based nonprofit organization. Today's show is a comprehensive summary of the interracial, cross-cultural, all-inspiring Black History Showdown held at Ames High School in Ames, Iowa in February 1989. Let's see what teams dare to take the championship. Our first round of competition is the junior high level. 2 7th grade teams from Ames Middle School, where Mr. Don Carlson is principal, are competing. Let's meet the coaches and their teams. The coach of the 7th grade A team is Mr. Wayne Clinton. The team members are Matt Gallahan, Corrine Hegland, Derek Schonroth, David Smalley, Jacob Wacker, Elaine Witt, and Jonah Hilliard. The 7th grade B team is coached by Mr. Larry Middleton, and the team members are Robina Chowdhury, Josh Huntington, Helen Luce, Jean Lynott, Roy Nichols, and Carrie Willie. Let's join the competition.
In 1889, Frederick Douglass was appointed United States Minister to A, England, B, Haiti, or C, Libya. Josh?
Haiti?
That's correct. The type of question is true or false. E. R. Lewis' invention was used for protection against trespassers and poachers. Elaine?
True.
That's correct. Who invented the furniture caster? A. D. A. Fisher, B. T. Elkins, and C. J. Hawkins. Carrie?
D. A. Fisher.
That is correct.
May I elaborate?
Yes, you may.
Okay, D. A. Fisher invented it. It was a bed. It was kind of a flat piece of wood with a wheel underneath, so you could lift up the furniture, and it was used so people would not harm themselves and be hospitalized while carrying furniture by hand.
Sojourner Truth was the famed civil rights champion who during the 1920s was executive secretary of the NAACP. Corrine?
False.
That is correct.
May I elaborate?
Yes, you may elaborate.
Sojourner Truth was an escaped slave herself, a runaway slave herself, who was over 6 feet tall and a very powerful lecturer. She had the ability to move entire audiences with her powerful speeches. She was very much out against war, and in a conversation with Frederick Douglass, is rumored to have asked him, "Frederick, is God dead?" And Frederick is to have replied, "No," and that is Frederick later claimed to have replied, "No, and that is why slavery must end in bloodshed." However, another man who was there present at the time claimed that Frederick had been at a total loss of words.
Type of question is true or false. And the question is, Cypress Attucks was an escaped slave who was killed during the Boston Massacre. Jean.
True.
That's correct. Feels good to win, doesn't it? The type of question is true or false. And the question is, Henry Brown invented the forerunner of modern-day strong boxes.
True.
That's correct.
May I elaborate?
Yes, you may elaborate.
Henry Brown's invention was called the receptacle for storing and preserving papers. Before that, important papers had to be placed in a bank or kept in the home in little wooden boxes. In the home, they were at risk from robbers and thieves. In the bank, they were at risk from unscrupulous employees who might rip them open. Henry's invention was very important because it was indeed the forerunner of modern-day strong steel boxes.
The Germantown Mennonite anti-slavery resolution was A, signed just before the Emancipation Proclamation, B, the first formal protest against slavery in America, and C, signed by people operating the Underground Railroad. Helen.
C.
That's correct. 3 military batteries commanded by General George Custer were slaughtered on June 25, 1876 by a group of Indian tribes led by Chief Sitting Bull. One of the first men to fall was a Negro who had lived among the Sioux and was serving as an army interpreter. Who was this army interpreter? Was it Marcus Renault, Dred Scott, Isa Dorman, or Sojourner Truth? Correct.
Isa Dorman.
That's correct. Compromise of 1850 strengthened the 1793 Fugitives Slave Act. One of its provisions was A, federal officers would be offered a fee for the slaves they apprehended. B, slaves reaching the North would be freed. And C, the Underground Railroad could no longer exist. Jean.
A.
That is correct. The type of question is essay. Who is the author of Uncle Tom's Cabin? Correct.
Harriet Beecher Stowe.
That is correct.
May I elaborate?
Yes, you may.
Okay, Harriet Beecher Stowe for Uncle Tom's Cabin, a story about a wicked slave master who eventually killed an old slave. The book sparked a lot of controversy because it was like a formal protest against slavery. And she became well known after the book. She herself was a white woman. So.
The 7th grade A team of Ames Middle School emerges as the winner of this round of junior high competition. Our second round of competition is the high school level. The competitors are Ames High School, where Dr. Ralph Farrar is the principal, and the Bethel United Methodist Church, where the Reverend Paul Bigby is pastor. Let's meet the coaches and their teams. The coach of the Ames High team is Mr. Kirk Dadow. The team members are Jeff Berryhill, Dan Dobson, Frank Janello, Molly Holt, Tony Jackson, and Jeff Osweiler. The coach of the Bethel team is Mr. Jack Roberts. The team members are Ronna Ely, Liz Hall, Sean Johnson, Wayne Larson, Laureen Mine, and Chris Newton.
The type of question is multiple choice. Who was the most famous Negro to serve with the Texas troops in the battle at the Alamo in 1836? It was believed that he reported the results of the battle, which is the first known description of the Mexican assault. The choices are A, Bland, B, Joe, D, Ezra, and B, Wyandotte. Okay. Chris?
Joe.
That is correct. In what year did President Lincoln issue the Emancipation Proclamation? Noah?
1864.
That is incorrect. Would you care to answer that question? Yes. Laura?
1863.
That's correct. The type of question is essay. In what year was President Lincoln killed?
Oh, man.
Noah?
1865.
That's correct.
Fine. Good job.
The type of question is essay. And describe W.S. Grant's curtain rod support and its use. Yes, Dan.
It was a device, it was two planks connected to the sides of the bed that held either an invalid or a patient in bed so they would not fall out.
That is incorrect.
Curtain rods.
Would you care to answer that question?
Yes.
Curtains? Curtain rods?
Sean?
It was a device that held up, supported the curtain rod when the draperies became too heavy and helped it support it.
That answer is correct. What is the state song of the state of Virginia written by the Negro composer James A. Bland? Chris?
Bring me home to old Virginia.
That's incorrect. Would you care to answer that question? Noah?
Carry me back to old Virginia.
That's correct. How is S.R. Scottron and W.S. Grant's inventions related? Tony?
S.R. Scottron made the curtain rod, whereas W.S. Grant made the curtain rod support.
That is correct. Type of question is essay. And the question is, name the Negro explorer who is credited with discovering what is today Arizona and New Mexico. Sean?
Was Estevanico.
That is correct. The type of question is multiple choice. There's a park in Memphis, Tennessee, overlooking Beale Street, to pay tribute to a famed Negro composer of blues music. Who was that composer? Was it W.C. Handy, W.B. Travis, Richard Allen, or Bill Pickett? Dan?
Handy.
That is correct. Type of question is essay. What was the purpose of the Pennsylvania Augustine Society? Dan?
Was it the education of colored people?
That is correct. The type of question is multiple choice. The first Negro newspaper began publication in New York City in 1827. The name of the paper was A, The Abolitionist, B, The Freedom's Journal, and C, The Negro Register. Sean?
Freedom's Journal.
That is correct. The type of question is multiple choice, and the question is, Mrs. L.D. Newman invented the modern plastic, A, brush, B, overshoe, and C, golf tee. Tony?
A, brush.
That is correct.
May I elaborate?
Feel free to elaborate.
Miss L.D. Newman also used not only the brush to, for grooming purposes, she used it for scouring and polishing purposes also.
The Bethel United Methodist Church team emerges as the winner of this round of high school competition. They also emerged as the Iowa State champions in succeeding competitions and will compete again in this show for the national championship against the Illinois champions. Now, the college adult level competition. We have the Iowa Growers from the Interdenominational Conference for Clergy of Des Moines, Iowa, where the Reverend Marion Flew is director. The coach is Mr. Ralph Vitale, and the team members are Marion Flew, Pavi Ramey, and Angela Vitale. They are challenging Iowa State University's Office of Minority Student Affairs, where Dr. George Jackson is director. The team name is the MSA All-Stars. Miss Carol Mahan is the coach. The team members are Robert Bumbray, Claudette Green, Tammy Heath, Jocelyn Sherman, Lawrence Taylor, Kathy Terrell, and David Turner.
The answer is true or false. The first Negro elected to the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. in 1870 was Frederick Douglass.
Oh.
That answer is correct. The type of question is true or false. The Civil Rights Bill of 1866 was passed and approved by President Andrew Johnson.
Answer is
10.
false.
That is correct. The type of question is true or false. Fisk University was opened in Nashville, Tennessee in 1866. That answer is correct. This is a short answer. In what U.S. city will we find a 30-foot high Tom Lee granite memorial erected in 1954 in honor of a Negro who on May 8, 1925 saved the lives of 32 passengers aboard the M.E. Norman, an excursion boat which was capsized near Cow Island? Tammy.
Memphis, Tennessee.
That is correct. Type of question is essay. What was the purpose of the American Colonization Society? It was formed in Washington, D.C. in 1816. Time is up. Would you care to answer that question?
Yes.
Kathy.
It was formed to transport free Negroes back to Africa.
That is correct. Multiple choice. The Missouri Compromise was passed in the year A, 1820, B, 1940, C, 1850. Kathy.
1850?
That answer is incorrect. Would you care to answer that question?
1820.
That answer is correct. Now let's let the light go off.
Sorry. I can't see.
The type of question is essay. Name two provisions for the Missouri Compromise. Marion.
The Missouri Compromise was that the state of Missouri, there were 12 free states and 12 slave states in the Union. I don't know, one was, Maine was the free state, was allowed to join at the same time Missouri joined.
That answer is incorrect. Would you care to answer that question?
Yes.
Kathy.
The Missouri Compromise allowed Maine to be entered into the Union as a free state and Missouri to be entered into the Union as a slave state. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Who was Booker T. Washington's employer in Malden, West Virginia, who encouraged him to pursue a higher education at Hampton Institute? A, John Rankin, B, John Brown, C, Harriet Tubman, and D, Viola Ruffner. Tammy.
The answer is D, Viola Ruffner.
That is correct. The rubberized overshoe was invented by who and when? I need the month, the day, and the year. Would you care to answer that question? David.
The rubberized shoe was invented by A.L. Rickman on February 8th in the year 1898.
That is correct. The Supreme Court decision in 1857 opened federal territory to slavery and denied the citizenship rights to American Negroes. This decision bears the name of what man? Angela.
Tilden. Tilden.
That is incorrect. Would you care to answer that question?
Yes.
Tammy.
Dred Scott.
That answer is correct.
We are operating under the guidance and direction of a very excellent staff of judges. Those judges are Reverend Michael Fox, the pastor of the University Hills Baptist Church of Ames, Iowa; Mrs. Hope Williams of the Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Davenport, Iowa; Mrs. Beth Wonder of Collegiate Presbyterian Church in Ames, Iowa; Mr. Ted McIstad of the Lutheran Church in Radcliffe, Iowa; Ms. Anna Evans, who is a PhD candidate at Iowa State University and also serves as a game show host; Reverend Wesley Daniels, assisting pastor at the Calvary United Methodist Church, Ames, Iowa; and Mr. Wesley McCarthy, counselor of Upward Bound, Iowa State University. Would you like to see how a TV game show operates? Would you like for your school or your church to have a team in the next Black History Showdown? Would you like to win thousands of dollars in college scholarships from William Penn College? If you answered yes to any one of these questions, then you will want to know more about Black History Showdown. It's easy to get involved. All you have to do is call our office. The number is area code 515-487-7451. Or write Black History Showdown, 211 East Main Street, Zering, Iowa, 50278. If you live in or near the Quad Cities, you can call our game show host, Jeff Gilmore, at area code 319-359-4762. Anyone can enter, so call or write today. Still working for a champion of the junior high level, we have two more competitors. They are the Ames Middle School 8th grade team. The coaches are Mr. Ron Kroll and Mr. Bruce Antoine. The team members are Gwen Horton, Karen Sue, Nick Lloyd, Angelina Moore, Sarah Rock, and Jeff Woodman. They are challenging the Davenport Unitarian Church team, where Reverend Charlotte Seleska is minister. The coach is Mrs. Nancy Nelson. The team members are Derek Anderson, Justin Moulton, Carrie Nakamura, Stacy Nelson, Brenner Shaw, and Sarah Thomas.
The type of question is essay. Who established the Association for the Study of Negro Life? Karen.
Dr. Carter Woodson.
That is correct. The type of question is essay. George Washington Carver persuaded many Southern farmers to plant what two crops instead of cotton? Karen.
Peanuts and sweet potato.
That's correct. The type of question is essay. George Washington Carver's research program helped develop how many derivative products from the peanut and how many from the sweet potato? Derek.
300 from the peanuts and 118 from the sweet potatoes.
That's correct. The presiding elder of the Greensboro district of the CME Church was Isaac Lane. Jeff.
False.
That's correct. The type of question is essay, and the question is, name the inventor and the invention that could be used for protection. Would you care to answer that question?
Yes.
Yes, Gwen.
It was the spring gun invented by E.R. Lewis.
That's correct.
May I elaborate?
Yes, you may.
The spring gun was a metal tube placed upon a wooden block with a spring wire trigger. It was used to protect land from poachers and other burglaries.
In Harlem, New York City, the first Negro-chartered Negro-run commercial bank is A, Washington National Bank, B, Freedom National Bank, C, Bankers Trust, D, Chase Manhattan. Stacy.
Freedom National Bank.
That's correct. The type of question is multiple choice, and the question is, prior to G.T. Sampson's invention, clothing were dried by A, hung throughout the house, B, fanned by the person doing the laundry, and C, wrung out the water. Gwen.
Hung throughout the house.
That's correct. The type of question is true or false. The Apollo Theater in Harlem, an entertainment mecca for all races, is one of the largest great ballet Shakespearean theaters in the United States of America. Gary.
False.
That is correct. The type of question is true or false. Copies of the 1792 and 1793 Almanac of Benjamin Banneker's were founded in the Schomburg Collection of Negro Literature and History in New York City. Karen.
It is true.
That is correct. The portable fire escape could reach up to a 5-story building. Justin.
False.
That is correct.
May I elaborate?
Yes, you may.
D. McCree's invention was much like today's fire escapes. It was wooden and it could snap onto windows on 2- or 3-story buildings, allowing the people to escape from fires.
In 1948, what Supreme Court case ruled that federal and state courts may not enforce restrictive covenants? Stacy.
Shelley versus Kramer.
That is correct. What is C-O-R-E? Nick.
The Congress of Racial Equality.
That's correct. And the question is, who founded Lane College? A, Lucius B. Hosley, B, Robert H. Thurgood, and C, Louis Armstrong, or D, Isaac Lane?
D, Isaac Lane.
That is correct. What did the First Methodist Episcopal Church in Jackson serve as during the Civil War? A, a hospital, B, a fort, C, a training school, and D, a military prison? Nick.
A.
That is correct.
The 8th grade team of Ames Middle School emerges as the winner of this round of junior high competition. Still working for a champion of the high school level, we have 2 more competitors. They are the Progressive Baptist Church, where the Reverend Emmett Wiseman is pastor. The coach is Ms. Belita Harris. The team members are Tracy Anderson, Felina Cotton, Quasi Dunstan, Nasandra Ellis, Monisa Holton, and Alton Rollerson. They are challenging the Olivet Baptist Church Olivet Crusaders. The pastor is Reverend Roy H. Cheers, and the coach is Mrs. Linda Dothard. The team members are Teresa Dothard, Tasha Goodwin, Relinda Green, Consuela Johnson, Damon Robinson, and Dion Young.
Type of question is true or false. The Alamo was fought in San Antonio, Texas in 1836 with some Negroes serving with the Texas troops.
True.
That is correct.
May I wish to elaborate?
Yes.
One of the slaves that were among them was Joe, and Joe escaped from his master during the Alamo and stole a horse. They think that he might have been reinstated as a slave, but they're not sure where he is or where the horse is. Thank you.
Essay, who am I? I am still to date the most celebrated of all the Negroes cowhands. Was the originator of the art of bulldogging or steer wrestling, was a member of the 101 Ranch, and later died in 1932 after being kicked by a horse. Who am I? You would like to pass? Would you care for that question? Consuelo.
Bill Pickett?
That is correct. What Negro educator is the only Negro honored by a plaque in the Hall of Fame at New York City University?
Booker T. Washington?
That is correct.
May I wish to elaborate?
Yes.
Booker T. Washington was the first teacher of the Tuskegee Institute, which had 30 students.
The only colored or black preacher listed to preach on Sunday morning in the White General Conference in 1870 was Richard H. Vanderhorst. He was a native of what state? Alton.
Jackson, Tennessee.
Repeat.
Jackson, Tennessee.
That's incorrect. Who was the first bishop of the CME Church? Yes, Teresa.
Henry Miles.
Correct. Who was the first Negro member of Admiral Peary's expedition to the North Pole?
Matthew Henson.
That's correct.
I'd like to elaborate.
Yes, you may.
Matthew Henson also has a memorial monument in Annapolis, Maryland, which commemorates him being the only black man to assist Admiral Peary on all of his polar expeditions.
Who was the first black woman judge in the United States? What position and title did she hold, and in what year? Yes, Teresa.
The first woman judge was Jane Bolin. It was in 1939. And the position that she held was Federal District Judge.
That answer is incorrect. The 9-volume edition of the dictionary catalog of the Schomburg Collection of Negro Literature and History can be purchased at A, $110, B, $4,000, C, $355, and D, $605.
We'd like to pass the question, please.
Okay. Would you get the answer?
D, $605.
That is correct. Who is the author of Native Son, published in 1940? Teresa. Teresa.
Richard Wright.
That is correct. What is the name of the composer of Virginia State's song, Carry Me Back to Old Virginia? Would you care to answer the question?
His name is James A. Bland.
Thank you.
I wish to elaborate.
Yes, you may.
James A. Bland was a poet and
composer. Along with his brother, capital J. Pierre Rosamond, he came up with the Negro national anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing.
What is the name of the Supreme Court case that denounced the Texas law barring Negroes from voting in the white primary in 1927? Teresa?
Shelley versus Kramer.
That is incorrect. Progressive, would you care to answer that? Marcel Light? Yes. Okay.
Nixon versus Herndon.
That is correct. Who was the first Negro congressman?
The Olivet Crusaders of Olivet Baptist Church, Rock Island, Illinois, emerge as the winners of this round of high school competition. Our junior high competition has been most abundant and most enthusiastic. May we introduce the Progressive Baptist Church junior high team. Ms. Belita Harris is the coach, and the team members are Tarsha Clinton, Lila Cotton, Willie Cotton, Alice Phillips, Deidre Phillips, and Sherelle Prather. They are challenging the Ames Middle School 7th grade B team, whom we have already met.
True or false? Large numbers of blacks joined the Methodist Church during the colonial and pre-revolutionary times. Alice?
False.
That is incorrect. What is the name of the famous baseball great that sat as chairman of the board of the Freedom National Bank? Yes, Josh.
Jackie Robinson.
That's correct.
May I elaborate?
Yes.
Jackie Robinson was the first black man to play baseball in the major leagues.
Your second free question is, the type of question is essay. What do the initials CMEC stand for in religious organizations? Josh.
Christian Methodist Episcopal Church.
That is correct. Some of the strongest advocates from this abolition of slavery had been members of the Methodist Episcopal Church. True or false?
True.
That is correct. Some of the strongest anti-slavery positions were taken by early Methodists. True or false? Carrie?
True.
That's correct. What is the ethnic background of Arthur A. Schomburg? Yes, Trey.
We would like to pass.
Okay. Yes, Carrie.
He was an Indian.
That is incorrect. Thomas W. Stewart's invention was used in A, recreation, B, floor maintenance, and C, barbering. Trey.
Barbering.
That is incorrect. Roy.
A.
That is correct. From the earliest arrival in America, the Negro slaves accepted Christianity as a vital force in his life. True or false? Yes, Roy.
True.
That is correct. North was the segment of the country that was considered a major base during the inception of the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church. The answer is true or false? Alice?
False.
That is correct. Catholic Church is the third or fourth largest religious organization among black Americans.
True.
Carrie?
True.
That is correct. Christian Methodist Episcopal Church came into being during the Renaissance period. Alice? That is correct. What was the name of the first Methodist church in the United States founded by ex-slaves?
Southern Methodist Episcopal Church.
That is incorrect. What do the initials A, M, E, C, a religious organization, stand for? Yes, G.
African Methodist Episcopal Church.
That's correct. Name 2 independent Negro Methodist churches. Robina.
CME and AME.
Yes, that's correct. W.C. Johnson was A, the leader of the Ku Klux Klan, B, the editor of the Ku Kluxer, and C, the editor of the Western Methodist, D, the first white bishop of the CME. Jean.
D.
That answer is incorrect. Yes, Shira.
C.
That is correct. Which organization was the most evil perpetrator of injury and violence upon black Americans? Jean.
Ku Klux Klan.
You are right. The Ku Klux Klan, to some degree, was an instrument creating a climate of tranquility during a turbulent period of American history in which a church of and for members of the colored race could be set up. True or false?
False.
That's correct.
The 7th grade B team of Ames Middle School emerges as the winner of this round of junior high competition. Would you like to see how a TV game show operates? Would you like for your school or your church to have a team in the next Black History Showdown? Would you like to win thousands of dollars in college scholarships from William Penn College? If you answered yes to any one of these questions, then you will want to know more about Black History Showdown. It's easy to get involved. All you have to do is call our office. The number is area code 515-487-7451. Or write Black History Showdown, 211 East Main Street, Zering, Iowa, 50278. If you live in or near the Quad Cities, you can call our game show host, Jeff Gilmore, at area code 319-359-4762. Anyone can enter, so call or write today. And now, the championship round for the junior high level of competition. Ames 8th grade will be competing against Ames 7th grade A team.
What is the name of the first novel by an American Negro? Yes, Karen.
It was called Clovel.
That's correct. What historical black institution was attended by Booker T. Washington, who later went on to create his own institution of higher learning? Elaine.
Howard.
That is incorrect. Ames 8, would you care to answer that question?
Yes, I would.
Karen.
Booker T. Washington attended the Hampton Institute.
That is correct.
And may I elaborate?
Yes, you may.
The Hampton Institute was the first Negro institution of higher learning, and besides Booker T, he also has, besides founding the the institute that he found was Tuskegee Institute, and later on it was moved on to a 100-acre plantation, and also George Washington Carver later became the director of agricultural research.
What brother team wrote the song referred to as the Negro National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing? Is it George and Ira Gershwin, James Weldon and J. Rasmus Johnson, Harold and Prince Hall, or William A. and Richard Wright?
It was the second group of people.
The second group of people, which would be B,
Yeah.
James Weldon and J. Rasmus Johnson. You are correct. Doesn't that feel great?
Yeah. Hey.
Heavy line drapes require whose invention? A, W.S. Grant, B, H. Genone, C, L.A. Russell's. Yes, Gwen.
W.S. Grant.
W.S. Grant is correct.
May I elaborate?
Yes, you may.
The curtain rod support was a small nail-like device used to support the curtain rod in the middle. Without it, many of the heavy linen drapes we use today would sag or droop in the middle.
Is true or false? And the question is, Sarah Boone invented the ironing board on April 26, 1892. Yes, Gwen.
True.
That is correct.
May I elaborate?
Yes, you may.
Sarah Boone's invention, the ironing board, was a wooden board on a collapsible leg support with cloth padding around the board. Before her invention, boards were just laid across tables and chairs to use as ironing boards. Her invention has remained basically unchanged.
What was John C. Fremont's claim to fame?
He led 4 exploratory missions into California and took along Negroes on 2 of them.
That is correct. George Washington Carver is a native of Iowa and received his Ph.D. from the University of Iowa.
Good.
Karen?
That answer is false.
That's correct.
May I elaborate?
Yes, you may.
George Washington Carver went to, at first, Simpson College in Indianola, and then later on went to Iowa State University, which then later he had a hall named after him, which was Carver Hall. After that, Booker T. Washington made this Atlanta compromise that said, cast down your bucket, and later found George Washington Carver, and he went down to Tuskegee Institute and became the director of the agricultural research.
The 8th grade team of Ames Middle School has emerged as the winner of this round of competition and the champions for the junior high level of Black History Showdown 1989. And now, the championship round of the college adult level competition. The Iowa Growers are competing against the MSA All-Stars.
The Atlanta University system consists of 5 institutions. Please name them. Angela?
It's Atlanta University, Morehouse, Spelman, Morris, Brown, and Clark.
That is correct. The next question is also an essay, and it goes to the Minority Student Affairs All-Stars. And the question is, what monument is dedicated to the first American Negro Baptist missionary in Savannah, Georgia? Yes, Kathy.
Reverend George Lau Monument.
Yes, that's correct. The next question, 18. Who was sworn in as borough president of Manhattan in 1953? Is it A, William Thompson, B, Hullen Jack, C, William L. Dawson, D, Ralph Bunch? Yes, Marion.
Hullen Jack.
That's the correct answer. In what famous landmark tavern in New York City did George Washington take leave of his trusted officials in 1783 before retiring to Mount Vernon? Yes, Kathy.
May we pass?
Yes, you may.
Francis Tavern.
Yes, that's correct. John Stewart, self-appointed missionary to the Wyandotte Indians, was of French, Negro, and Indian stock. Yes, Claudette.
True.
That's correct. NAACP was founded in New York on the 100th anniversary of what famous person? Kathy.
Abraham Lincoln.
That's correct. The Quakers are also known as the A, Society of Eternal Destiny, B, Society of Gospel and Foreign Parts, C, Society of Friends. Yes, Jocelyn.
C, Society of Friends.
Okay. That is correct. The question is, the date of Thomas W. Stewart's invention was A, 1891, B, 1899, and C, 1893. Yes, Pavi?
C.
Yes, that is the correct answer. Who was the Negro poet who was the first to concentrate on dialect poetry, and exclusively Negro themes. His first collection of poetry was Oak and Ivory, and it was published before he was 20 years old. Is the correct answer A, John Rankin, B, James A. Bland, C, Paul Laurence Dunbar, or D, W.C. Handy? Jocelyn.
B, Paul Laurence Dunbar.
That's correct.
May I elaborate?
Yes, you may.
He also wrote Majors and Minors book, novel on Majors and Minors.
In 1964, Secretary of the Interior Stuart Udall declared whose house a national shrine? Is it A, Reverend George Lyle Monument, B, Bragg Smith Marker, C, Frederick Douglass Home, D, Fort Griswold? Yes, Angela.
Frederick Douglass Home.
That is the correct answer. True or false? Frederick Douglass served as Negro Marshal of the District of Columbia and as Minister to Haiti in 1889. Yes, Kathy?
That is true.
That's correct.
The MSA All-Stars of Iowa State University have emerged as the winner of this round of competition and the champions for the college adult level of Black History Showdown 1989. And now, our final round of competition will determine the national winners of Black History Showdown 1989. The Olivet Crusaders of Illinois are competing against the Bethel United Methodist Church team of Iowa.
Is what happened to the slaves that overpowered the vessel Creole and sailed it to the Bahamas in 1841? Teresa.
They received their freedom in their asylum, A-S-Y-L-U-M.
And the question is, Supreme Court Chief Justice John Marshall handed down the well-known Dred Scott decision. True or false?
False.
That is correct.
May I elaborate?
Yes, you may.
It was Chief Justice Robert Taney after a 10-year time period from the time that Dred Scott filed the original case.
W.P. Purvis's invention was the forerunner to the bicycle. True or false? Consuela.
It was false.
Okay, that is correct.
I'd like to
You'd like to what?
elaborate.
You may elaborate.
W.P. Purvis invented the fountain pen, and the way that you would fill these up, because they would run out, is that you would take an eyedropper with the ink in it, and it was like a reservoir, and that you would fill the pen up, and then you'd be able to use it again.
Who is credited with inventing the cotton gin? Teresa.
Eli Whitney.
That is correct. Who would be the most likely to use W. Johnson's invention? Yes, Sean.
McCook.
That is correct.
May I elaborate?
Yes, you may elaborate.
W. Johnson invented the egg beater, and prior to his invention, the eggs had to be stirred by hand to beat them up. So it saved a lot of long hours of cooking in the home.
Okay. Eyedropper was used to fill Purvis's invention. True or false? Consuela.
True.
That is correct. In 1846 in Detroit, Michigan, a pitched battle was fought in defense of Adams Crosswhite, a fugitive slave who had fled from Kentucky. The Crosswhite case is said to have been instrumental in the enactment of what law affecting slaves? Yes.
Fugitive Slave Law Act.
That is correct. A branch of the military services which authorized the enlistment of Negro slaves in 1861 was A, the Army, B, the Navy, C, the Cavalry. Teresa.
B.
That is correct. It was the Navy. In what year was Abraham Lincoln elected president? Rona.
1859.
That is incorrect.
Abraham Lincoln was elected to president in 1860.
That is correct. One more question, and this is a multiple choice. And the question reads, in 1859, a band of 13 whites and 5 Negroes attacked Harper's Ferry. The man who was the leader of this group was A, Elijah P. Lovejoy, B, Dred Scott, and C, John Brown. Teresa?
C.
That is correct. It was John Brown.
May I elaborate, please?
Yes, you may.
John Brown and his band of 12 whites and 5 Negroes led a revolt on Harper's Ferry. On Harper's Ferry, 2 Negroes were captured, 2 escaped, and one was killed. Brown was later captured and hanged.
Jeff, with that answer, the Olivet Crusaders have just exceeded the required number of points to win.
By Jove, I think we have a winner. See what happens when I... And now, the winners of Black History Showdown 1989. The winners are the Olivet Crusaders. Among other things, they will be receiving a plaque, also trophies, and a certificate. The certificate reads as follows: Academic Achievement, Cultural Enhancement, Celebrating Black History Month. This certificate of recognition is issued to the winners for outstanding participation in Black History Showdown 1989. We will be presenting the trophies to Teresa Dothert. Close. Thank you. Tasha Goodwin. Congratulations. Dion Love Young. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Damian Robinson. Congratulations. And accepting for Consuela Johnson will be Mr. Love. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Accepting for Relinda Green will be Mr. Robinson. Congratulations. And we're presenting a plaque to the coach of the Olivet Crusaders, Miss Linda Dothert. Congratulations.
A special thanks is extended to a large number of people who have made various contributions to make Black History Showdown 1989 a success. Thank you, one and all. Please look forward to Black History Showdown 1990.